Here are my week 8 NFL picks, my final thoughts for each game on this video. I did a video earlier a few days ago with my week 8 NFL picks, but a lot has changed. 4 quarterbacks have since been declared out because of injury. So going to get into everything. Before I do, though, please hit like, subscribe, comment below, share this video. Visit walterfootball.com for tons of content. We have more on NFL picks beyond what I'm going to give you in this video. I posted touchdown props for 10 players this week. We also have a 10 leg parlay that has it's $10. It pays out $210,000. So if you want to check that out, if you get in on the action, check out walterfootball.com. We have 2026 and 2027 NFL mock drafts. We grade every signing, we grade every trade. We have NFL power rankings, everything you want for the NFL, and it's all free. So check out walterfootball.com. All right, let's begin with Jets and Bengals. So I kind of like waffle on this one a little bit. So initially I thought, okay, I'm going to bet the Jets for a little bit, not a lot, because look, they're a horrible team. Then I said, you know what? I shouldn't do it. It's a stupid mistake. But now I'm back to going 2 units on the Jets. So here's my thinking. So Justin Fields is going to play. This is one of the quarterbacks who's subbed in for an injured, not really a starter, but Tyrod Taylor is going to take over. Now it's going to be Justin Fields again. And I think my thought later in the week was that I don't think the Jets were going to play as hard because of what the owner said. But now that Justin Fields is on the field again, I think they're going to rally around him potentially. Now, maybe they'll lay another egg like they did against Dallas, but I think that there's a good chance that they rally around him and play hard for once. And so this is a lot of points against Cincinnati. Cincinnati can't run the ball and they can't play defense, so they're going to be prone to backdoor covers here moving forward with Joe Flacco. And we saw the Jets get some backdoor covers. For example, they covered against the Buccaneers as underdogs at 6.5, so they could do that here as well. So that's sort of my thinking. I do like Fields in fantasy. Should be able to run a lot, and given that he has a job, he has a chance to reclaim his job, then I think that that kind of bodes well for him. Although Garrett Wilson's out, so don't go nuts with this one. But I think that the Jets are the right side. You know what this reminds me of is the Giants and Cowboys game in week 2. The Giants back then with Russell Wilson, one of the worst teams in the NFL. They played a Dallas team that was bad. Not as bad, but still bad. Sort of like Group F against Group D. This is the same sort of deal. The Jets are Group F, Bengals are Group. The Jets are Group F, Bengals are Group D, and so that Dallas Giants game was 40-37. The Giants covered as 6-point underdogs. I think they're 6.5 actually. So the Jets might be able to do the same, but like I said, don't go nuts with this one. 49ers to Texans. The 49ers are going to be down Bryce Huff, which some people may not have heard of him. Some people might have heard of him, but are like, what's the big deal? The big deal is that Nick Bosa and Yetur Gross-Matos are injured as well, and so the Niners don't really have any sort of pass rush anymore. Their top player who's still on the defensive line, it's Michael Williams, the rookie. He has 14 pressures, and no one who is healthy has more than him right now. So the Texans are not going to face that much pressure. And one of the reasons why I like Seattle so much last Monday was because Houston's line can't block, and Seattle has the second most pressures in the NFL. So I thought this is a huge advantage for the Seahawks. Now, the Niners are not going to be able to take advantage of that, and so the Texans should be able to move the ball better, even though Nico Collins is out. Nico Collins being out is probably what's getting me to not bet the Texans, but I do like them. If Collins were playing, I think I'd bet the Texans for a little bit. I think this is a good spot for them to fade the Niners, who are coming off a win on national TV, and plus they're traveling, and Houston's coming off a loss on national TV, kind of an embarrassing loss. It wasn't like completely embarrassing, but still a little embarrassing. And so I think they'll rebound. They need this win more than the Niners for sure. All right, so we have Bears at Ravens. So this spread was all over the place today. It was 6.5 to 7 early in the week when people believed Lamar Jackson was going to play, and then he was declared full on Friday. So it seemed like there's a really good chance he was going to play. Like, why else would they say that he went from limited to full? So I was pretty optimistic about that, and I thought that I was even going to add that to my super contest card. And then I wake up Saturday morning and I hear that he was only running with the practice squad in practice on Friday. So like, Why was he declared full? So I think the Ravens could get in trouble for this, especially in the wake of the other gambling nonsense that's going on with Chauncey Billups and Terry Rozier and whatnot. So the Ravens could be fined here, maybe even lose a draft pick for misappropriating the injury designation on Friday. But anyway, the fact remains that this is going to be Tyler Huntley starting here. Normally, I would not be a fan of a backup quarterback going against the top 10 defense. The Bears are, I believe, the ranked 7th in EPA. So this is a tough matchup for Huntley. So I have a rule that says, you could bet the quarterback, you could bet backup quarterbacks whether they're playing mediocre or bad defenses. But if they're playing a top 10 defense, then you should avoid them. But the Ravens are getting everyone back, and this is desperation win for them. I think they come all out. They play a better defensive game. They run. I think they're going to run pretty well against the Bears, and so I think they'll win this game by a field goal. Now, as I said before, the spreads was all over the place when it was 7, and then it was announced that Jackson was practicing with the practice squad on Friday's practice. This line dropped to 3.5, and then when he was declared out, this line dropped to 1.5, and now it's back up to 2.5. What happened was the sportsbook kind of freaked out and just like dropped the spread like dramatically all the way to -1.5. And I actually had people asking me why the Ravens are favored at 1.5, but the sharps took the Ravens at 1.5. It's up to 2.5. So they clearly don't think that the Bears should be favored. The Bears are not a good team. Just think of it that way. They played so many easy opponents. That's whom they've beaten. Like they beat the Raiders, for example, even though the Raiders outgained them in both yards and yards per play. There was a pretty wide disparity. Just the Raiders, they kind of Raiders the game up like that. That's what they did. It's just kind of screwed up as they usually do, and the Bears took advantage of that. Otherwise, the Bears beat the Saints last week. Whoop-de-doo. And I know that you can only beat the teams you play, but at some point you have to beat a good team. And the only good team the Bears have beaten this year so far, I would say, is Washington. And in that game, Washington threw that game away. So in the rain after the Redskins had a big win on the other side of the country. So that was the only good team the Bears have beaten so far. So I'm not convinced that the Bears are going to win here against Baltimore, especially a very desperate Baltimore squad. All right, so we have Dolphins and Falcons. This is another change. Kirk Cousins is going to start instead of Michael Penix, which I think is an upgrade. Cousins was terrible last year, but he was not too far removed from a torn Achilles. Now he's another year removed from that torn Achilles, so he should be close to 100%, if not 100%. So I think that he's going to be able to get most of his pass catchers involved, whereas Penix usually locks in on London and Pitts. Now, there's a chance London may also miss this game, which kind of complicates things. In fact, if that does, I'd probably drop this from like 5 to 4 units, but I still love Atlanta. And maybe I won't even do that, but like Bijan should run all over Miami. Miami can't stop the run. You had Rico Dowdle, or Rico Doodles, we call him on the show. He ran for 206 3 weeks ago. 2 weeks ago, Kamani Vidal ran for 124 against Miami. Last week, Quinshon Judkins had 3 touchdowns. Bijan Robinson is better than all 3 of those guys, and he could have a massive performance, especially if Tyler Allgeier's out, which just sounds like it might be a possibility. So if Allgeier's out, there's a chance that Bijan breaks the single game rushing record, which I think is still 296, if I remember correctly. But if he gets to 300 plus, you heard it here first, I guess. Yeah, Miami's just complete garbage. I love Atlanta this week. All right, Bills Panthers is a tough one to handicap because we don't know if Matt Milano is going to be healthy. We don't even know if he's going to play. He's limited all week. He was questionable, so he could return. If he does return, doesn't mean he's going to be 100%. When he returned earlier this year, he was not healthy, and then he got knocked out. Last year, when he returned from a long absence, he was bad for 2 weeks, and then he was great again. So it might take him some time to return to form. Daquan Jones also out for Buffalo, so I don't know if Buffalo is going to be able to stop the run, which is my concern here. I know the Panthers are stepping up in competition, but the Bills haven't played a good game since week 2. They clobbered the Jets. Since then, they nearly lost to Miami, a terrible team. They nearly lost to the Saints, a terrible team. If Brandon Cooks doesn't drop the ball in the end zone, the Saints have the lead in the fourth quarter in that game. Then they lose to the Patriots on national TV, and then they lose to Atlanta on national TV. And now they take on the Panthers team, which, the Panthers aren't as good as Atlanta or New England, but they're better than the Saints and they're better than the Dolphins. So I think Carolina could hang around and maybe cover the spread here, but I'm not confident in this one at all. This is a stay away from me. Giants and Eagles. The Eagles will be without AJ Brown and Cam Jurgens, their center, I feel like the Jurgens injury is a big deal because the Eagles already can't block. Saquon Barkley's second to last in the NFL. He's only ahead of Ashton Genty in yards before contact. So people are blaming Saquon for struggling. It's not the case. Like he's just getting hit in the backfield over and over again. Like he just doesn't have a chance. So the fact that the Eagles can't run means that they can't hold leads. So we've seen them blow leads against the Buccaneers. They almost lost after holding a huge lead. We saw them blow a lead against the Broncos and lose outright last week against the Vikings. They sort of blew a lead. They still won by 6, but still could have been. It was close to being a disaster for the Eagles. So. I think even if they get out to a lead here, I don't know if they're going to be able to hold it. And I think the Giants could come back. So let's get to the next game, which is hold on a second. It is Browns at the Patriots. Excuse me one second. So the Patriots here, this is the toughest test for Drake May all year, defensively at least. Now he went against the Panthers defense, which is close to the top 10 right now. I think they're 9th in EPA. But they were missing the 2 defensive ends in that game. The Browns defense is amazing. They're 3rd in defensive EPA. So I'm not convinced the Patriots are going to be able to move the ball nearly as well as they usually do. However, I don't trust Dylan Gabriel either. So this is a tough one to handicap. I'd probably stay away from this one. We have Buccaneers and Saints. I love the Buccaneers earlier in this week. Now, not so much. We'll see what happens on the inactives list. But Vita Vea, one of the best nose tackles in the NFL, he was full in practice on Wednesday, but then DNP Thursday, DNP and Friday. Doesn't bode well for his availability in this game. It changes the whole game. Like Villa is one of the players who really can impact the game. He's so good in the running game that if the Buccaneers don't have him, they can get run on. But if they do have him, like opposing running backs can't do anything against him. And this is important for this game because the Saints need the run. Spencer Rattler, their quarterback, is just so horrible. Whenever he doesn't have a good running game to support him, he's gotten blown out. That's what happened against Seattle. It's what happened against Chicago. And if Vea is available in this game, that's what's going to happen here. Tampa's going to kill them. But if Vea is out, then all bets are off. Then the Saints are going to be able to run the ball. They'll be able to play closely and maybe even get the win. So really just watch out for the inactives list, which should be published around 2:35 p.m. Titans at the Colts. I love the Colts. They were minus 14. I still love them at minus 14 and a half. The Titans are so bad. They're the worst team in the NFL. Offensively, they can't throw, they can't run, they can't block. Defensively, they can't run, they can't stop the run, they can't stop the pass, they can't get to the quarterback. They also don't have a head coach really. They also don't have an offensive line coach because the head coach who was fired, his dad was the offensive line coach, so he resigned too. So outside of all those things, Titans are not bad. But they just can't compete in this game. Like the only argument for taking the Titans here is that the Colts might be distracted because they won across the country. Now they're flying back home, and after this game they have Pittsburgh. So maybe they're a little flat and they already beat Tennessee. So there's a chance that they just take the Titans lightly. But, even if they play like 80%, I feel like they can still clobber the Titans here. So it's just a way too big of a talent disparity. Cowboys to Broncos. The fact that this line went from 3 to 3.5, I think it's a very bullish indicator for Denver. And we had Andy Isco on the show on Wednesday. He pointed out, he just made a good point. A very logical point. He's the logical approach. He said that, if you have Cowboys offense versus Denver defense, kind of a wash, right? They're both really good units. But when you have Cowboys defense against Denver's offense, like that's a big advantage for Denver just because Dallas can't stop anyone. So the worst unit on this field is definitely Dallas. And some people might be concerned. It's like, the Broncos nearly lost to the Jets. Oh man, the Broncos nearly lost to the Giants. Well, it was a tough scheduling spot or tough travel spot. They flew from Denver to Philly to London, all the way back to Denver, almost halfway across the world. And they were just exhausted last week, and understandably so. Now they're rested at home and going to play a team that's not that good. It's a little overrated, and Dallas is getting a lot of action here, even though Dallas is getting a lot of money headed their way. the line moved from 3 to 3.5. So I think that's an indication that Denver is going to cover. Packers at the Steelers. This is the Aaron Rodgers revenge game. Obviously, that's the low hanging fruit, but not so low. The Packers haven't played all that well. They haven't played a good game this week too. They lost to the Browns in week 3. They played a 40-40 tie against the Cowboys, who didn't have CeeDee Lamb. In week 6, they struggled to put the Bengals away. In week 7, they nearly lost to Jacoby Brissett. Why is the team favored by 3 against a decent Steelers team? Now, I know the Steelers lost to the Bengals on Thursday night, but they were coming off a win in the division, and generally the Steelers are horrible in that situation as road favorites. But now that they're underdogs, it's very favorable for Mike Tomlin. He's 64-36 against the spread as an underdog. So 64% sounds good to me. I will be on Pittsburgh with the Rodgers revenge. And then we have Redskins, the Chiefs. This line is 12.5. It dropped to 11.5 because the Chiefs are going to have multiple offensive linemen out. Josh Simmons, not Justin Simmons, Josh Simmons, and their left, or sorry, their right guard. He's going to be out as well. So the Chiefs are going to be missing 2 of their offensive linemen. Trey Smith, that's what I'm thinking of, the right guard. They're missing 2 offensive linemen, and the Redskins are going to get back Deebo Samuel and Terry McLaurin. Now, on the other hand, they're going to have a backup quarterback playing because Jane Daniels is out. It's going to be Marcus Mariota. And like I said earlier, anytime you have a backup quarterback against a top 10 defense, and the Chiefs are exactly number 10, it just spells trouble. So I think the Chiefs are still going to cover, even though the line dropped. It's actually better for us. We get a better number. Hopefully we get 11, or 10 will be sweet by kickoff. I don't think it's going to go that low, but 11 would be nice just because, 24-13 seems like a possible outcome, or 31-20 if you want to go higher scoring. Both those seem like possible outcomes, so I'd love to get at least the push. Not that we're playing for pushes, but still, it's better than a loss, right? So I do like the Chiefs still with those injuries. So those are the WalterFootball.com Week 8 NFL picks. The final thoughts in this video. Let me know what you think. Like, which sides are the best? Am I completely wrong about a game? Definitely let me know. I'd love to hear from you. But otherwise, please hit like, subscribe, comment below, share this video, visit walterfootball.com for tons of content every single day for the NFL, and it's all free. So otherwise, I will be back in a couple of days, actually probably in 24 hours or so, talking about the Week 9 fantasy football ad drops. So have fun watching the NFL, and I will talk to you then.